L'chaim. It's Erev Shabbos. It's soon Chai ELLUL. Chai ELLUL is the big Yom Tov, which brings a Chayos into ELLUL and a Chayos into the Avodah of Ani L'doidi V'doidi Li. So we have to bring a little bit at least. So L'chaim, the Eibusher should help. That's just like tonight, Chai ELLUL is when it all started. This is the day the Baal Shem Tov was born, Begufoi, Benafshoi, Beruchoi, Benishmasoi. This is the day that the Baal Shem Tov revealed Teiras Achsidis in order to bring Yafutzu Ma'nesecha Chutza, to bring the coming of Mashiach. This is the day that Alter Rebbe was born in order to reveal Teiras Achsidis Chabad, which brings the coming of Mashiach. And this is the day that they started the learning in the time of the Rebbe Rashab. With the leadership of the Frierdiker Rebbe, they started the learning in Temchet Mimim, which is what Chayali Beis David in order to bring the coming of Mashiach. So today, we should have this Galus of Melech HaMashiach, Yaveh v'Yigaleinu v'Yelichenu k'Mius L'Artzeinu. He should take us to Eretz Yisrael, to Beis HaMikdash, to Beis HaMikdash HaShlishi v'HaMeshulash, to Kodesh HaKodashim immediately. And the Eibusher should give to every single Jew light, Bigashmias and Beruchnias in every single possible thing, in every single possible way, especially in Eretz HaKodesh, Eretz HaShereni Havaya Likechaba, Meireshis Hashana Vad Achris Shana, should be seen in a revealed way for all the nations of the world that Hashem protects His only child, the Jewish people, like the apple of His eye, and shows His love in a revealed way to every single Jew, in specific and in general. L'chaim. So today, as we know, tonight, as we said, is the birthday of the Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov taught Avedas Hashem B'Simcha, serve Hashem with joy, and serving Hashem, as the Rebbe always points out, since it says B'chal D'rachecha De'u, serving Hashem is at every possible moment, so a Jew has to always be happy. The Baal Shem Tov very much promoted Avodah B'Simcha, as well as the Alter Rebbe. The Alter Rebbe wrote it in Tanya right away in the first Perek, the explanation of the Arizal on the Pasuk, Tachas Asher Le'avadita Savaya Likecha B'Simcha V'Tuv Levav, which is a Pasuk in this week's Parsha, that all the negative things, they come not when a person doesn't do what he has to do. He does everything, but he doesn't do it with Simcha. Then Chas v'Shalom, it's all the negative things. Why is that? Because Simcha is what opens everything up. Simcha opens up all the pipes. Simcha opens up all the brachas. It's brought down in the Zoyar, Le'ela, Kegavna, the Lisata. It's something that the Maggid told the Alter Rebbe, and the Alter Rebbe then gave it over to the Tzemach Tzedek. The Tzemach Tzedek taught it to Chassidim that Le'ela ki gavna de Lisata, everything that happens above is just like what happens below. If a person down here below is bechedvesa, he's joy and he's with a happy face, then everything opens up for him also. And the Zohar also continues the opposite. So there's a story with the Alter Rebbe. I just heard it I was putting my kids to sleep, so we listened to Rabbi Eli Silverstein tell stories. And usually I manage to fall asleep before he even starts talking, or as soon as he starts talking. But last night somehow, Bashgacha Pratis, I heard this story. And it's a story that Reb Simcha Gorodetsky told this story, that he heard it from Chassidim in the name of Chassidim of that time of the Alter Rebbe. During the Alter Rebbe's time, there was a certain chassid who he was a partner together with a misnagid in a farm in a big field where they would grow produce and fruits and vegetables, etc. And they lived in a farm, and around them there's all the shtetlach, all the different small towns. And they would go with a wagon, they would fill up the wagon with produce once a year, and they would bring it to all the goyim of all the nearby towns. They would go to one place, and they would all gather together, and they would buy from them whatever produce, and they would have it in order to eat. One year was a very bad year, there was no rain, and nothing grew. So the Misnagid turns to the Chassid and he says to him, you know, our issue is not just about money, but when it's going to come the time of the year when all the goyim from around, when they're used to us bring them food, we don't bring them food, they'll kill us. They're peasants, they don't like Jews very much, and they'll kill us. The Chassid says, no, don't worry. Let's take the empty wagon, the covered wagon, I guess you can't see what's inside or not, and we'll go there the regular day like usual. Snagid looks at me and says, what are you talking about? I mean, we're not going to have what to sell. For sure they're going to kill us. He says, no, we have to do our part. The Eibishter will do his. And they get into the wagon and they start driving. And they're both a bit worried what's going to happen here. Chas v'shalom, they could lose their lives. And as they start driving, the Chassid suddenly starts singing. He starts singing Happy Nigunim. And he sings Lebedikar, Lebedikar, Lebedikar until he starts dancing, pushing in the wagon. Snagid's looking at him like he lost his mind. But nothing. They come to the place, and all the goyim are gathered together. They want to buy money. And the Chassid gets out and he says, listen, guys, before we do business, let's drink a bit together. Now, you don't have to really give much persuasion in order to persuade a Russian guy to drink. He said, sure, let's drink. You know, that's a good way to start a business deal. He says, let's drink punch. Now, punch was a thing they used to drink. It would be like you'd fill your cup with tea and then put a bit of vodka in the tea. Let's drink punch. It's 100%. So they arranged, and maybe the Jew paid for it. They got a barrel of vodka and a bunch of tea. And then he stands up, he says, guys, I have an idea. Instead of filling our cup with tea and then adding a bit of vodka, a bit of mashke to the tea, why don't we'll take the barrel of vodka and we'll just put tea straight into the barrel and we'll drink from the barrel. And the goyim look at him, they say, you're a genius. Look at this guy. Of course, this is the type of guy to do business. Look at this genius. And sure enough, they bring the barrel, he puts a bit of tea in the barrel, and everyone's drinking punch. And it didn't take very long until they're completely drunk. And he turns to them, he says, okay, now let's do business. And they look at him, they say, business? We see double now, we can't see anything. How can we do business? He says, well, now that's what we came to do. They said, please, do us a favor. Stick around here. Tomorrow morning we'll be fresh and we'll be able to do business. He says to them, no, look, I have to go back to my farm. I can't stay here. But you know what? I have an idea. I want you to sign me a paper that I came and I tried to sell you, and that you decided not to go to a different farmer, do business with him. And in the meantime, you can party all night. Party all night. Very good idea. Good. He gets back in the wagon, and the Misnagid looks at him and he says, how did you come up with such an idea? You're a genius. How did you come up with such an idea to get them drunk and so they shouldn't kill us? As the Chassid says, it was a few months after the Stalkus of the Alter Rebbe. And the Chassid says the following. He says, in my last Yechidus that I was by the Alter Rebbe, he says to me, Ki b'simcha tezeu. The simple meaning, Ki b'simcha tezeu, means when you leave, you go with simcha. And the Alter Rebbe explained that Ki b'simcha, through simcha, Tetseu, you'll go out of any type of issue, any type of problem that you have in your life. Through simcha, you'll go out of it. So I came into the wagon, I was also worried, and then I remembered what the Alter Rebbe told me. So I needed to be b'simcha, so I started to sing and to dance. But then I thought, to really get b'simcha, especially when things are tough, you need a bit of l'chaim. He said, we didn't have any mashka by us. So I said, if I can't drink l'chaim, at least I can think about mashka. So I started thinking about it, and that's when I got this idea, why make punch in such a way? We make a punch in a way that we put some tea in it. So that's what I went and did. So the simcha saved his life. And the truth is, for all of us, simcha is the most powerful tool. We're now coming from Tezvav ELLUL, like we said, Chai ELLUL was the first day they started learning Temchet Mim, Ham Tezvav till Chais. The Rebbe says it's part of the Yom Tov of the Siyastas of Temchet Mimim. The Siyastas of Temchet Mimim happened within the Sheva Brachas of the Frierdiker Rebbe, by the Sheva Brachas, which was also this week, Gimel Elul, the Rebbe Rashab said the Maimer Samach Tesamach. Simcha. The Chasana, the outcome, which is the Siyastus of Simchat Mimim, is in a way of Simcha. And it seems like that's the whole idea of Simchat Mimim, and that's the whole idea by a Chasana. Why do you need Simcha? Because it's something which is connecting two opposites. And the way of Chassidus and Kabbalah, Zoh and Malchus. You're connecting two ideas. You're connecting the world and above the world. You're going even into Achasna, you're going into the world, but you're trying to bring Elokus into the world. For that you need Simcha, you need to go beyond limitations. And the idea of Simchat Mimim is to connect Nigla and Chassidus, to connect the world with Elokus, and that's what the Baal Shem Tov came to teach us. That's what the Alter Rebbe came to teach us, to connect the world with Elokus. And the way we connect the world with Elokus is with Simcha. Is with Simcha. And we have to learn something. The Baal Shem Tov taught everything's Bashgacha Pratis. We have to learn from the happenings of the week. Sometimes when you take a communication tool into your hands, it's got to be exploding with joy. If you want to communicate with the world, it has to explode with joy. Because if it's not exploding with joy, then it could explode in different ways. And the idea is that we have to be besimcha, and besimcha b'tuv levav. It's coming now, ELLUL. It's connected the month of Tishrei. The month of Tishrei is Reishis. Reishis, there's a story that I heard this Rabbi Kassim, he said he saw it. He said that when they came from Eretz Yisrael, one year it was the first day of Slichas, the second day of Slichas was during the week of Slichas. And Reb Zusha Vilomovsky, the partisan, he was standing there in front of Seb 7, and the Rebbe came out, and the Rebbe turned to him, the Rebbe said, Zusha, Meila Slichas you don't say, but Simcha Davtach Yazain. We have to know that as Chassidim, the way and the path of Chassidim, of Lubavitcher Chassidim specifically, is that everything has to be with Simcha B'tuv Levav. And I want to talk about Simcha. I want to give a special mazel tov to my son, to Menachem. Just had a baby boy. And Mr. Hashem, he should bring in him the Teda, the Chuppel, Maisim Tevim, bring in Brisa, Shel Avraham Avinu, Bizmanoi. And when there's Simcha, I remember when my brother Akiva said to me, we had then Chaim's bar mitzvah was in Cholamayit Sukkos. And Akiva said to me that year, it was by Fabregin, but in the Sukkah, he says, when you make a Simcha, you become the Baal Simcha. The Baal Simcha means you're the Balabas of Simcha, and you're the one who can bring Simcha to everyone else around, and Simcha to the whole world, Simcha to everyone, Simcha to the whole year. So it should be the Simchas Elam al Reisham, the greatest Simcha of the Gula Mitas Vashlema, when we'll have the real Simcha, the Simcha of the Chasna between the Eibishter and Yidden. They will all go dance with the greatest Niggin, with the greatest joy and with the greatest dance, all together in the Beis HaMikdash Shlishi Malkeinu Bereishenu, together with Melech HaMashiach L'chaim Mashiach now. A good Shabbos and a good Yom Tov.